One of the things that we always hear about is the struggle to have children and the pressure that society puts on our women and also couples when they get married, expecting them to have children right away. And if they don't have children for many years, it's as if something has gone wrong. Well, that's not the case. If Allah is going to bless us with children, then He blesses us with children. And if we want them and we're struggling, never lose hope, because Allah can do whatever He wants. So 3 men show up at the house of Ibrahim alayhi salam. And Sarah radiallahu ta'ala anha sees them, and Ibrahim alayhi salam says, welcome them inside of the house. But Ibrahim alayhi salam is very skeptical as to what's going on. And one of the qualities that Ibrahim alayhi salam had was he would never turn down an invitation or someone that was outside to bring them in and give them a meal. So he goes and he asks his maid, he says, what do we have? Do we have half a sheep? If it's just half a sheep, go slaughter another sheep so that we can go ahead and feed our guests. This was one of the greatest qualities of Ibrahim alayhi salam. But something weird happens. When Ibrahim alayhi salam places the food in front of them, he goes and he starts by eating so that they feel easy, so that they can start eating, but they're not eating any food. And Ibrahim alayhi salam gets concerned as to what they're trying to do, and they immediately say, oh Ibrahim alayhi salam, calm down. Don't be worried. We're here to tell you and to give you some glad tidings while we are on our way to deal with something else. We are 3 angels. And Ibrahim alayhi salam says, where are you going? And he says, we're going to Sodom, to the people of Lut alayhi salam. However, before we went there, we wanted to make sure we delivered a good news for you. What was that good news? If you remember, Sarah radiallahu ta'ala anha, an old woman who was barren, couldn't have children, and they come with the news that not only are we going to bless you with a child by the name of Ishaq, but after him there will be a long line that's going to start with Yaqub alayhi salam. Sarah radiallahu ta'ala anha, imagine the elation she goes through, and she laughs and she goes, ha! And she holds her hands. She goes, oh, me? How am I going to have a child? I'm such an old woman. I'm shaykha. I'm an old woman. I've been barren. How can I have a child? Allahu Akbar. They say that, don't you think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do anything? Now, many women struggle with this because it becomes a social taboo when you can't have children or you don't have children. And if you are struggling to have children, there are supplications that we find in the Quran. But something amazing that we should think about is that in the tree line of Ishaq alayhi salam, we find that this story repeats itself multiple times. For example, Maryam radiallahu ta'ala anha, she's sitting inside of her mihrab and she's getting fruits from out of season. And then Zakaria alayhi salam comes in, who's struggling to have children, and he sees those fruits from out of season. And he says, Anna laki hada, where did you get this food from? And she said, Qalat huwa min indillah. That, don't you know that Allah can give me, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can provide whenever He wants? Immediately Zakaria alayhi salam goes outside and he says, هُنَالِكَ دَعَا زَكَرِيَّا رَبَّهُ قَالَ رَبِّ هَبْ لِي مِن لَّدُنكَ ذُرِّيَّةً طَيِّبَةً إِنَّكَ سَمِيعُ الدُّعَاءِ. Oh Allah, bless me with a child that is going to be pure, that is going to be tayyib, and you're the one who listens to all du'as. And Allah blessed him with a child. So if you find yourself in a situation where you can't have children, then use other means such as adopting an orphan. Because when you adopt an orphan, you are doing something that is so beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also it is a sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That dua, for those that are struggling, that want to have children, never lose hope and always recite that dua, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do whatever He wants.